Welcome to House of Yarn. My name is Ashley. I hope you will learn to love crochet as much as I do. Crochet is a fun way to express yourself and make thoughtful or practical gifts. You can make anything from hats, blankets, cardigans, and my personal favorite, toys. The possibilities are limitless. So, what is crochet? Crochet comes from the French word meaning hook. It involves creating textiles by using a crochet hook to interlock loops of yarn or thread. Some people might wonder what the differences are between knitting and crochet. Well, when crocheting, the stitches are completed before a new stitch is started. And the easiest way to tell the difference is by how many tools you are using. Knitting involves 2 or more needles, and with crochet, you only need 1 crochet hook. What is the history of crochet? Knitted and woven textiles have existed for centuries, but crochet became popular in the 1800s in Ireland due to the famine. It also was previously used in France to make lacy garments. A Dutch magazine in 1823 is the earliest record we have of the term crochet. Styles have come and gone, but crochet will always be around due to its ability to be unique and inexpensive. Here we have 2 examples. One is an ad from the 40s and is of a rainbow-hued jacket. The other is a picture from the 1800s and is of a French lace dress. Beautiful, right? On the screen are a few items that I've made in the past, but in this video we will be discussing the very basics you will need to know to start any crochet project. Let's have some fun, fellow hookies! Alright, let's get started. Here we have our different size hooks. We have our scissors. And what you will notice is we have different sizes in the hooks. They come in bamboo, aluminum, plastic, and steel. Today I'm using aluminum ones. They are very practical and inexpensive. Maybe I can link a set in the video below to see an example. But again, very inexpensive. This one is a smaller steel hook, I believe, used for thinner, finer yarn. Here is a measuring tape. This is very useful for very different types of projects, especially blankets for the width and for the length. And also just when you start to make clothes, it's good for measurements. Definitely good to have. This is a stitch marker. Again, this is a useful tool, looks like a paper clip. And this is used to keep track of where you are on your rows or when you're working in rounds. I know I find it very helpful to me personally when working projects in the round. Here is a yarning needle. You'll notice the opening is a little bit wider than a normal needle to help fit the yarn through. It's not too sharp, kind of curved, and it's great for weaving in your edges. Here are some scissors that I use. I believe my husband got these for me on Amazon. They're crochet scissors. They're pretty sharp and they're small. They're excellent to have. You definitely need those. I believe highly in getting those. You do need them because you don't want to cut yarn with regular scissors where they fray. Lastly, we have our yarn. I have Craft Smart. I believe I got this at Michael's, this particular brand. This is what it looks like, and if you turn it around, you'll see some very useful information, such as the size hook suggested that can be used. You see there it is a US I9 or a 5.5 millimeter size hook. It also will tell you the yards that is in the skein or ball of yarn. So I'll just show you some of that information there. And it's definitely important to take a look on the back and not just look at the color. I know I tend to look at the color first, but it's important, especially when you're doing different size projects. You'll need different size yarns and hooks. Also important is, to me, is to find out if you can wash and tumble dry your yarn. I make gifts for people a lot, or goods, and I want whoever I'm giving my finished product to know that it's convenient to clean. This size is a medium size 4 yarn, which I find has been very easy, especially for beginner crocheters. Good size yarn to start with. So those are your basics. Again, your scissors, needle, marker, hooks, yarn, and measuring tape. And Abihu says thanks. All right, let's get started here, guys. Let's see, we have a 5.5 millimeter hook that I'm going to be using for this size 4 yarn. It's Craft Smart. I believe I'm showing where I pull the yarn. I like to pull from the center. It's a lot easier than the other side. So typically on yarn, when you get a ball of yarn, a skein, you'll have the two sides. One will be wrapped around the outside, the end of yarn, and it kind of just goes all over the place. So I try to pull from the middle, as I showed you. Find the side that the yarn comes from the center of the skein. Makes everything a lot easier. So now I'm going ahead and I'm going to show you how to do a slip knot here. I'm right-handed, so I'm going to take the end or the tail of that yarn and I make sort of a fish shape with my pointer and thumb. As you see here, making it pretty big to show you. And I'm holding the tail in my right hand, where my thumb and pointer finger are. And then I'm going ahead and grabbing through that loop and pulling. And I have made a huge loop, but that's okay. You can take that hook, you insert it in the middle, and we're going to tighten it around the hook. You just go ahead and pull that. Again, that was very large. Try not to make it that large, but for showing you guys purposes, it makes it nice. All right, so you can tighten it onto the hook and you have a long tail there, which is okay. I'm gonna try to show you this again. Taking that end piece between my right hand, to my thumb and pointer, and my left hand thumb and pointer finger, making that fish shape, twisting it, kind of making that crisscross. Pointer and thumb, grabbing the yarn that is connected to the skein and pulling the tail end of the yarn. All right, hopefully you're able to see that. And there's your slip knot, a little bit smaller this time, better size. Go ahead and insert your hook. And again, we're just gonna pull it around the hook, either side, either the tail or the yarn that's coming out of the skein. And now your slip knot is on your hook. That's the very beginning of what you need to do when you crochet. Doesn't need to be too tight on there. I like a little bit movement on the hook. Next is with my left hand, because I'm right-handed, I'm going to be putting the yarn wrapped around it. This is how you need to hold it before you start making your chain. This is just whatever is comfortable to you. This was quite frustrating for me in the beginning. It felt very awkward. Wasn't sure what to do. Typically, how you see it, I have it between my pointer finger and my middle finger. It's wrapped around my palm maybe 1 or 2 times. Then it goes in between my pointer and middle finger. For you, like I said, you're going to need to just find what's comfortable for you. 2 times around, 3 times around, 2 fingers, 3 fingers. Just mess around and see what is comfortable for you. I, in the beginning, couldn't figure it out and it was very frustrating to me. So please don't get frustrated. Just keep trying and it will make sense to you. It'll click. Now it's second nature to me, how I cast. So we're gonna go ahead and yarn over. Here we go. Starting our chain, twisting our hook, making contact with the end of our hook, and we're going to pull it toward that first slip knot or loop. And so there's our first chain, chain 1. Yarning over, so going around, twisting our hook, going around, yarning over, twisting that hook and pulling it through that loop. And that will make our chain 2. And so I'm gonna show you this a few more times. Yarn over, twist our hook, make contact with the end of the hook, pull through that loop. And you just gotta keep practicing this. Pulling that yarn toward the loop. So that's what we call the yarn over. Kind of going underneath that yarn and pulling through the loop. Yarn over, twist our hook, pull through the loop. Yarn over and pull. Yarn over and pull. And we're making our chains by doing this motion, this yarning over, pulling through, yarning over, pulling through, yarning over, pulling through. There's our chain. So I'm going to keep showing this to you a couple more times. I'm trying to go slow so you guys can see, because I know in the very beginning this confused me. To me it's pretty easy now, but it was confusing. So it kind of looks like a braid to me, this chaining. You'll see there's kind of a V shape, just like if you were to braid hair. And if you flip it to the back side, there are little humps or bumps, and sometimes later on, hopefully we'll discuss that, you'll be able to, somebody might ask you to make stitches in the back. And so we'll kind of go over that. So there's kind of two sides that you can work different stitches into. But that's basically your chain for most projects right there, you guys. It's pretty basic, but you know, you just gotta keep practicing. So there you go. Now, easy part of crocheting I love is it's so easy. If you make a mistake, if you get frustrated, you want to start over, you don't have to waste that yarn. You just pull on it, lick it, pull, 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 pull. And you don't waste any of your yarn. You don't waste your money at all with crochet. You just start over. So don't worry about practicing. Don't worry about messing up. Tips and tricks. So number one, while the hooks are not sharp, please be careful if you have pets or small children. They could always present a choking hazard. Number two, always be careful with those scissors, especially the yarn scissors like I showed in my video. I know I've been poked by them a couple times, and so I want you guys to all be very careful when using those items. Number three is so important, don't give up. Even if it seems difficult or frustrating, once you get it, it will be worth it, I promise. I still get frustrated sometimes at things, but it's fun to learn. Just keep learning, and you can make so many different things. I can't believe how much I've learned by just continuing to try. So don't give up. Number four, always keep your leftover yarn for a later project. This is something I'm glad I did. I know I've recently just made a cool blanket, and it's custom for my husband because I just used all of my leftover yarn that I've been using for other projects. And so it's so nice to, again, crocheting is super cool in that you can upcycle things and you don't have to waste your money. Even if you already made a project, you have a little bit left over, you can use it on another project, make a scrap blanket or make granny squares. So hopefully we'll be able to talk more about that on my channel later. On 5, try to keep your yarn organized as it can build up quickly. I know I've done this, and it's nice to stay organized. It keeps your sanity, and I know my husband thanks me when things are well organized. 6, keep your tools organized as they can get very easily lost. True, hooks can fall into nooks and crannies of places, and you will never find them again, or later on, and you'll keep buying new hooks. So try to keep them organized, a little pouch or even a little plastic bag somewhere that you always keep your tools. I suggest that. So please like and subscribe if possible. I'm just starting out, and so I'm not a super professional at everything, but I do enjoy crocheting, and I hope you love it too. So if you enjoy videos like these or learning different crochet projects with me, I would love if you would like and subscribe. Thanks, have a great day.